Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Super Nerd. And I just wanted to say, Scott, make it a good movie. Oh my word! Please make it good. Please make it good. I am so glad you have a second writer. And if you're watching this, please keep Scott in check. Do not let this man go too far with the cooking. Let him cook a bit, but don't let him go too far into the cooking. What am I talking about? I'm of course talking about FNAF 3. If you've seen the thumbnail, you know that. Okay, so let me get my bearings. So we all know the FNAF movies. First one, alright, pretty good as a fan, but still a lot to be desired. FNAF 2, what the heck did I just watch? I saw it in the theaters. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. I thought it has a lot of potential. But oh my word, my friend, it is messy. The plot is messy. The writing is non existent. It feels like a serial film, but it tries to connect all the chapters of a serial film into one, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work, you know? I mean, the plot's cool. Yeah, the plot's cool. Yeah, who am I kidding? The plot's not cool. The plot's non-existent. I just said the plot was non-existent. I'm fumbling over my words. Oh my word, that's how much of a brain twister this movie is. Okay, at least the animatronics looked good. At least that. The mangle scene was kind of cool. Yeah, the Avengers Endgame scene at the end was kind of cool. The wizards look cool, but then they were wasted. Okay, okay. First, couple things you need to do to make this movie good. Scott, please don't just ignore the plot points you set. I know people don't really like the first two movies, but you gotta resolve those plot points you set up. And another thing is that you have to restate those plot points. So restate those plot points for people who didn't see the first two movies, but not in a way that makes them feel like they need more context from those movies. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's handle that. And couple of other things you can do, like just also please, why did you character assassinate Charlie and Michael? Like I understand Charlie wasn't at the pizzeria the missing kids were, so she never really brought them to life, so it makes sense why she probably isn't in such good graces in my eyes compared to the game Charlie. And with Michael, for all we know, the bite of 83 didn't happen, so he never really sought redemption for himself. But like, please give them an opportunity to at least become more like their game counterparts, so they are like these cool anti-heroes everyone likes them to be, instead of just cartoonish villains. Like, kill all adults. What? I kind of understand in the game she was locked out of the building, which is honestly worse than what happened in the movie, but like, it's stupid. It's stupid. I'm sorry, Scott. It's stupid. Okay. Um as for Michael, he looks cool. The actor, Freddie Carter, I think that's his name. I might be butchering that. Um, he does it pretty well. You know, he feels like Michael, but he feels like evil Michael, if you know what I mean. Like, this is the Michael people have theories about being evil, and in that sense, it kind of works. But at the same time, he's like so cartoonish. Like, why is he so cartoony, bro? Oh my word. Please give him a redemption arc in the end. Also, please reveal Jeremy Fitzgerald in some way. I don't care if you just make Jeremiah Jeremy Fitzgerald. Just have Jeremy Fitzgerald in some way. Also, have Corey and Matt Pat return. They're basically staples now at this point. You might as well throw them in there. Don't make it too hyper though, like too hyper Easter egg. Have like, at best, have YouTube cameos. Only include Easter eggs if it's going to benefit the story. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Actually have the hype moments add to the plot instead of just being this one-off thing that I acknowledge of a bad plot. That's all I'm saying. And like other plot points that have to be set, like we have to know what happened to Mike's brother. I know like it's not the worst thing to have to reveal, but you still need to do that. We also need to know what happened to Vanessa. Like, is she gonna become Vanny or something? Like, if that's what you're doing. And I mean, like, yeah. Also, please, 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 give us a lot of William and Henry. Please, we need that much William and Henry. I know, like, here's what I think. Here's what I think. Half of the runtime in the of the actual movie, not including the credits of the actual movie, needs to be William and Henry flashbacks, and half of it is actually like whatever the heck's happening over there. That's what it needs to be. Okay, okay, okay. That's what it needs to be. That's the kind of film you need. All right. Okay. Also, don't give it a short runtime. Why the heck is it an hour and 50 minutes? If this is going to be like the final installment of at least this trilogy of FNAF films, go out with a bang. Make it like 3 hours long. That way you don't have to feel like you have to rush through things. And also, it'll give more opportunities to have more William Afton and Henry Emily screen time, as well as still resolving the plots. Like, giving it a long runtime of like 3 hours, which was, believe it or not, the original runtime, at least reported to be the original runtime of the first movie. And honestly, please, for this one, give it 3 hours. Give it 3 hours of actual runtime and, like, I don't know, 5 minutes of credits or something. Like, and before you say, "Oh well, 3 hour horror film, are we sure we could keep the momentum?" It's FNAF. You can keep the momentum. You can keep the momentum. People watch like hour-long FNAF YouTube videos and compilations. You can make a 3 hour FNAF movie, and people will still care. People will care. Trust me, Scott, they will. Also, take a look at Peter Jackson's King Kong. That's a horror adjacent movie that's at least 3 hours. Like, you can work with a 3 hour runtime. You can. Don't be scared. It can work. Don't worry. And we'll give you all the opportunities. Tell us what happened to Aunt Jane. Like, did she end up getting out of the psych ward? Is she William Afton's first victim after being springtrapped? I don't like do things like that. Like, actually resolve the plot points set up in the first and second movie. Just don't rely too much on people having to have seen those movies. Okay? Okay, just quick restate. Also, be very selective, because I'm just going to assume this is a PG-13 horror film. And here's the thing, PG-13 horror can work. It can. It can't. Heck, PG horror, like Coraline and Monster House, can work. You can work with PG-13 horror. Just make sure your story's engaging, well written, and you use creepy imagery and have like a couple gory scenes that push the boundary, but don't put it in rated R territory. Like, it's honestly, I'm honestly shocked. Like, Scott didn't take advantage of the creepy imagery of his games and using that to contribute to the horror of the first film, instead relying on like a creepy atmosphere. And don't get me wrong, the films are atmospheric. That's one of the few things I actually like about the first FNAF film, is that it's very atmospheric. It feels like Creature of the Black Lagoon. There's a sense of dread, but you need to actually like pay off with that atmosphere. So have the atmosphere of the first film, but with the constant like thrills and action of the second film, and you'll have a pretty decent horror film that fans will love, and people who weren't big fans of the first two will grow to appreciate more. Like, that's how you do that. I think you can like actually go really well with that. I don't see how you can go wrong. Just saying, just saying. And yeah, like I said before, you need Corey and Matt Pat. For Matt Pat, I severely doubt Toy Bonnie's gonna return. So just have Ness return and like a one-off scene with like, I don't know, maybe Abby and Mike are eating at Sparky's Diner or something like that. Or maybe Ness got a new job at like Fazbear Fright's horror attraction or something like that. Or speaking of new jobs, use the line that Corey had in the second film as a taxi driver, where he's like, "I need to get a new job." Maybe you can like do something really funny where he actually does get a new job at like Fazbear Fright's horror attraction, or at the very least, like the carnival that is inevitably going to be there at the Fazbear Fright's horror attraction. But then again, that really depends on how long this film takes place after the second film, because it could take place like immediately after, and the haunted house could honestly be just a part of Fast Fest. That way, we can actually see what Fast Fest was going to be. Like that would be really cool. Maybe it could be Fast Fest the next year or something. Scott, I'm printing you money. Come on, like these are like really great ideas. As for like new characters that should be introduced, I would really like McKenna Grace to be in the film again. The problem is that she looked pretty dead in the second film, so it wouldn't make sense to bring her back. I know she's a big FNAF fan and she's a big like Gen Z actress, so I wish she could be in there. And people have complained that she was wasted in the first film, but it is what it is. You already were kind of pushing your limits by bringing back Aunt Jane. It wouldn't make sense for you to bring someone back that's obviously dead, like McKenna Grace's character Lisa. So that's a shame, but I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. I guess I don't know. Maybe you can find, maybe you can use like unused archive footage of like, maybe there's a court case about what happened to the spectral scoopers, and before then Hank's crew. Maybe that can all coincide into like a court scene involving like Fazbear Entertainment or something, and that's how you can also bring back Doug. Like the there's a lot of things you can do here with the potential, and to really just bring everything together and all the strongest aspects of the film. So, sorry, I went on a tangent there. New characters. You need Markiplier in this film. If you're not gonna have him in the second film, but you were going to have him in the first film, he has to be in this film. And I haven't seen Iron Lung yet, but the fact that he directed, acted, and screenwrote in that movie by itself, I know there's like mixed opinions on the film itself, but like my point is, between that, his skits, his other movies like In Space with Markiplier and A Heist with Markiplier, have him not as a cameo. If honestly, if he fits in the film, have Markiplier have a big role as who? Maybe he can be Phone Dude, or the equivalent of Phone Dude, or maybe he's an officer for Hurricane Utah, or like what he did with the special delivery trailer for the AR game. Maybe have him be a Fazbear Entertainment representative, or introduce Fritz Smith and have him be Fritz Smith. So many like potential and ideas to actually like make this movie really good, but still for the fans, as you claimed the previous two films were. Like it, like oh my word, like FNAF 3 could genuinely be one of the greatest video game films of all time. Like Sonic 3 was the best of the Sonic trilogy. You can definitely make FNAF 3 the best of the FNAF trilogy, and like there's tons of potential there. Like please don't mess up this potential, because it would be like so awesome. Other characters that could be introduced, you could bring back Max from the first film as like a soul possessing Shadow Freddy, because Shadow Freddy actually does have a big role in the FNAF 3 game, so it would make sense. And heck, maybe you could even bring Matt Pat as the voice of Shadow Bonnie, who actually did have an Easter egg in the previous FNAF film, and also has a somewhat bigger role in the FNAF 3 story. So like, things could happen. Things could happen. Like, uh, I am very worried about Vanessa though. Like, I don't know how they're gonna handle it. Like, I personally was not a big fan of Vanessa being introduced into the movies, especially since the movies were being primarily based on the first three games with inspiration from the books and Scott era game sequels. So including a character that's very clearly supposed to be not just an analog but an adaptation for a Steel era game character just felt like very, I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little forced. Um yeah. I mean, I thought they utilized her pretty well in FNAF 2, but she still has like those problems of being like a character set up in a era of FNAF that not as many people have a connection to. So she kind of just is kind of included there for exposition, and I guess we needed an adult female character in a movie directed by an adult female woman. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason Scott included her. Wow, that sounded messed up. Yeah, I don't know. Like the puppet does have a role in the FNAF 3 game, so it makes sense why the puppet would return. My friend Jack, he had a theory that maybe the way they're going to redeem Charlie in this film is that they're going to have Charlie bring back the souls of the missing children and put them in the withered animatronics. And then we're going to have a William Afton destroying the withered animatronics in like kind of a climactic final battle sort of thing. And maybe we'll have Michael Afton return redeemed, whether that's him after being scooped, because Scott did say he wants a sister location movie and a doco live stream. And the only way I think that could work is if Sister Location was like a spin-off film, kind of like how Annabelle was to The Conjuring. So like, yeah, I think there's definitely like a lot of potential for the FNAF 3 movie, and I think and I'm glad this rant wasn't as loud and crash out worthy as I thought it was going to be. It honestly all came together pretty well and nicely. So, see you guys later. Hope you all have a good day, and God bless you guys.